Smart hello to everyone. I am Saurabh, and today we will be discussing what if analysis, sensitivity analysis in our Advanced MS Excel course. I welcome you on behalf of bi-analytics.org, Business Intelligence and Analytics Community for Digital Transformation. So, today we'll talk about what if analysis in Excel. As the name suggests, what if analysis means, look, in Excel we always have a model. We have some input parameters. We use apply formulas with the help of input parameters, and we have an outcome. Say if I talk about that I want to take a loan and interest is 10%. So my final amount to be paid will be based on 10% interest. But now I want to decide whether instead of 10%, if it is 9.5%, how much I have to pay back. So like this is what if analysis. So what if situation change? What if input parameters change? How our outcome will reflect? That is talk all about what if analysis. When we talk about Excel, we have three tools available for what if analysis. First is scenario manager, second is goal seek, and third is data table. In data table we have one variable data table and second is two variable data table. So in this tutorial, we'll talk about scenario manager, goal seek and data table step by step. We need to understand what if analysis is used to analyze and make some decisions. What should I do? So we have a model and we want to change our input parameters and see the result, how it will be influenced. Fine. So let's start. First of all, we'll talk about scenario manager. Let's take a specific case. I want to identify I'm a purchase manager and I want to buy three raw materials. Raw material 1, raw material 2, raw material 3. And they have a unit price. Fine. So I want to identify how much is the cash required to purchase them. Let's make scenarios and try to understand it with a very simple example. So I have this available with me which talks about cash required. Fine. So we have raw material 1, raw material 2, raw material 3. We have cost of raw material 100, cost of raw material 70 and cost of raw material 3. And I'm assuming say we are purchasing 1000 units, 2000 units and 700 units. So if we purchase, total cost will be multiplication of cost into unit. Same way we will multiply cost unit, and then we'll have a grand total. So my scenario is I want to identify the total. Fine. So I want to vary how much units I will be purchasing and what will be the cost. So we need to understand first of all, where is this data what if analysis tools. When we go into data, you will see what if analysis, scenario manager, goal seek and data table. So when we talk about scenario managers, it says create different group of values in scenarios and switch between them. So we need to identify the various scenarios. So let's make. So I'm clicking on scenario manager. So now this is our scenario manager and we can add various scenarios. We can delete them, we can edit them and we have scenarios. So let's add scenarios. I click on add. Say I will say first of all in scenario manager that I am saying high volume of purchase. So I say I give the name as high volume. I can use comment made by Saurabh Jain. Fine. We can write date also, in which date we have done. Now it says changing cells. How many cells you want to change? So I click on this and I say I want to change these 3 cells. These are my input parameters. Fine. So these are my input parameters. I want to change the number of units for each cell. I click enter. I say OK. So it's asking me what values you want to keep. So I say in height, this high value one, I can say 2000, I can say 4000, and say it is 1400. Fine. So this is my scenario one. So it is, if I want to OK or I want to add it out. So I say add. Fine. So it is asking me for scenario number 2. Say this time I say I want to have a most likely scenario or most likely. I again say that these are my 3 changing unit cells, and this I say again my name Saurabh, most likely. This is my comment. Fine. Most likely. I say OK. Now it's asking me. So I can say 800. I can say 1600 units I will purchase of raw material 2, and in raw material 3 I will purchase 400. So this is my another scenario. Fine. I say OK. This time I'm doing OK. So see, now I have 2 scenarios available, high, most likely. I can add another scenario. I can edit the scenario if I want to edit. Fine. OK. So I can edit it out. OK. I can delete this. I can add another one. So let me add last, which says low volume. So I am preparing 3 scenarios, high, most likely, and low. Fine. I click on OK. And in low I just say 300 units, 700 units, and say 100 units. So these are my 3 scenarios that has been made. Fine. So now if you want to show them out, there is the option of summary. Now we'll use summary. So now if I want to compare all these, what I can do is I click on summary, and when I say summary, it has an option scenario, summary, or pivot table. So there are 2 type of outputs. I am taking summary scenario and I click on OK. And see, there's a beautiful report has come which says these were the 3 inputs: raw material 1, raw material 2, raw material 3, and this was the result cell, the total cash required. So say current value was 1000, 2000, and 700. So it was this much of cash required. But if you say high values, this is the cash required, most likely. So it has created a 3 scenarios for us, and this is where we can analyze now how the things will change. So this was just for one result. We can have multi-result cells also. Fine. So this is the way how scenario manager works. Hope you are able to understand. Let's see it again. This is scenario manager. You have item, and this was our value. So now instead of changing here, we have done like this. Now let's go again and see scenario manager. So I was this value. Now say suppose you want to see low values in the figure. So just you click on this and you say show. When you will say show, it will change the value over here. So you can do like this also. Use this one to say. So you don't have to, you may forget what was the value last time. So now you can just replace, click it out and use it show. So this is how it's done. Now there's another one. This is called merge scenarios. What it says is, suppose you have this model available and you send to 10 people in your country, or say in your company, or say to 3 people, and they according to their choices filled up 3 scenarios for you. So when they filled up 3 scenarios, so they are on different cells. So by opening these 3 workbooks, when they send it to you again, you can merge these scenarios together. Fine. So this is how merge can be also used. I'm closing this. Now there's an example. You all can try it out. This is a model which talks about, say there is a sales of an automobile and you want to identify the net present value of the system. So you have a tax rate, you have year 1 sales, you have sales growth, percentage, you have year one price, you have year one sold, year one cost, you have interest rate, you have cost of growth, you have price growth. So look, this is a model, and I don't want to understand how it works right now. My objective is my final out. These are my inputs, fine, and this is my output, and this is profit after tax is also my profit. Fine. So this is the model, and I want to apply a scenario into it with different cases. So how you will apply? So now what I want to do is I'll again go into what if analysis, scenario manager. Now this time I say add scenario. Fine. Now I can say scenario 1 or say forecast 1. Fine. Now changing cells. How many cells you want to change? Say I want to change year 1 sales. I want to change sales growth. Fine. These are the two variables I want to change. Now when I change these two cells, fine. Now I say okay. So now I have an option of year sales 12,000. So I say I take it 17,000 and I say 6%. Fine. So this is my scenario 1. I click on add again. This time I say forecast 2. I click on OK, and this time I say 0.08, and instead of 12,000 I say 14,000. Fine. Okay. Now I want to do summary, but this time instead of my result cells are all these cells first of all, and this also. So what I want to do is I have to press Control to select all these cells. Control. Fine. So look, my final was B21. Okay. I click OK. And now when I click, so look, here comes. Okay, based on your cells, year sales and sales growth, you have these two scenarios and this is your answers. Fine. Hope you are able to understand how scenario table works. Scenario manager. Let's move ahead. Now we'll talk about goal seek. What goal seek do is, if you know the result that you want from a formula, but what input values the formula needs to get that result, you can use goal seek. Say I know that I have an examination, I had given 4 papers and I know the marks of them. There's the last paper left and I know if I want to score 90%, how much marks I want to score in this 5th paper. So if I can use this goal seek, this can help us. So let's take one example and try to learn goal seek. So say let's take one example that I'm selling some product and say price. First of all, price of product is right now 10. Fine. And number of units I will sell, say 200. Fine. So if I want to calculate revenue, how I will do? Let me zoom it out for you. So my price is 10, my units is 200. What will be my revenue? I say price into units 2000. So say suppose if I ask you, if I want to have a revenue of 5,000, say price is not 10, I say 8.5. A little bit tricky for you. Fine. So if I want to have a revenue of 25,000. What will be the price? There are a couple of ways. You can use multiply, you can do mathematical calculation, you can say is equals to this divided by this. You can say 25,000 is a revenue. So 25,000 divided by 8.5 will give the number of units. Okay, so you can do. But let's use goal seek. Our objective is how many units to be sold if I want to generate a revenue of 25,000. So we again go into what if analysis and I click on goal seek. Fine. Let's take it over. So it says set cell to value and by changing. There are three options: set cell, to value and by changing. So look, we need to set the cell of revenue 1, which is B5. So I click on say I want to set the cell B5 to value. How much value should I send? I want 25,000. By changing cells, which cell I should change? I want to change the number of units. I click this. Now when I click OK, look, it is telling that you need to have units 2941, which is equals to 2942 units to get this revenue. Now if I say OK, the value will change. If I don't say cancel, old value will be shown. So it is up to you, you want to change this or not. So I will again show it to you. What if analysis? I say goal seek. I say to value 25,000. By changing cell, this is number of units, and I say OK. Sorry, this is the formula has to be where? This one. I click on OK. And when I say OK, the values has been replaced like this. Fine. So this is the how we can use goal seek. Now this was an easy formula. You will say, why to use goal seek? You can do it directly. Now I say cost of per unit is say 5.4. Fine. So total cost will be number of units multiply by cost per unit. So now income will be how much? Income is equals to revenue minus total cost. So now it becomes a good formula. Now this is a model we can talk about. So when you talk about goal seek like this, now you know that now if I want to identify what will be the income, how much unit should I sell to get an income of 15,000. So how we will do? I'll go into what if analysis. I say goal seek. So my objective is set cell. So this time I have to set the cell of income 1. To value how much? I want to use say 15,000 income. And by changing cells, which one? I want to change the unit cell. I say OK. And when I say OK, here comes the answer. So I need to send cell 4838 units, 4838 units, 4,839 units to get the income like this. So this is how goal seek is done. Look, but in goal seek you can only change the one parameter. If you want to change multi parameters, then you have a solver we'll take in another tutorial. But goal seek is a good example for taking when there is a input is as a one parameter. So you can change, you can play with one variable to get the final outcome. So this was goal seek. Hope you are able to understand. Now I say okay. So let's move ahead. This was goal seek. Now we'll talk about data tables. What does this data table say? Data tables is another way of what we can say. Data table is another way of representing various scenarios in the Excel, and this is quite interesting thing. Say right now I had a price of 8.5 units. So if I say look, if I want to have a price and income comparison, instead of 8.5, if I take 7, 6, 4, how much will my income vary? And I want to showcase in the data table format. So let's see. Let's do this one. I will tell you how to do it. So this was my price 8.5. So I say 10, 15, 20. This is my price. I'm assuming that price does not change the number of units sold. There's no demand curve right now I'm using. Fine. So this is the price. Now I want to have the revenue and income. So these are the two parameters that I want to analyze. So my revenue, I say equals to, see, if this is the formula. I'll put the formula is equals to, in income, I use this income formula. So I have related this formula like this. So I have calculated this revenue and income. Fine. Now what I want to say is, if say price is 10 units, how much will be the revenue? How much will be the income? 15 units, 20. You can extend it to so many parameters. So right now what I'm doing is, I'm clicking this, selecting this table. So this is my input table. This is the data table. Fine. Now the parameter is changing in the row parameter, right? Which is the row number 3rd, right? See, this is a row. So I will select this region F10. So what I'm doing is, I will select this. Now I'll go into what if analysis. I go into data table and I will tell this Excel that my row input cell, either you can give row input cell or you can give a column input cell, because this is a one variable data type. When we'll talk about two variables, then we'll use both references, but right now we need to use row input cell. So I click on this and I select, this is my row, right? I click OK. I click OK. Sorry, what I did is, my row input cell is this three inputs. I click OK. Let me check again what I did. So you have a revenue, this. Sorry, I have to select this entire data like this. Go into what if analysis. Go into data table. Now in the row input cell, I say my row input cell has a parameter, this price. I am varying the price in the row. So I have to tell Excel this one. I say OK, because price is varying, and now I say OK. And here comes the answer. Got it? I will repeat again. What I need to do is, this was my variable which was changing, and which was this in the price. So I have to link this cell with this one. So I am telling Excel, this row which is variable is linked to B2. Fine. This is the way it can be done. We can make this cell Excel this in a different way also. Let's do in a different way. What I'll do is, I say let's be 10, 15, 20. So now price has been like this, and I say the revenue and income like this. Fine. So which is my formula for revenue? I say is equals to, and my revenue is this. When you talk about income, my income is this. Fine. Now this is my data table. I say what if analysis, data table. Now this time it is column values which are changing. So I say column input and I click on price like this. I say OK, and here comes our answer. Look, when it was price was 10, revenue will be this much. Let's see. If I say price to be 10, my revenue and incomes come the same. Fine. So this is how one way data table is being used. Now let's make two-way data table. Now what is this? Two variable data table in which we'll change two parameters. Say I want to change price and I also want to change cost of a unit. So price per unit and cost per unit, both I want to change. So let's see how it will be done. What I'm doing, I'm inserting a couple of rows. Insert. So see, what I want to do is I want to vary price. So price is 12, 14 and 60. Okay, and I also want to change the vary cost. So cost will be say 3.5, 5.9 and say 7.8. So these are my cost. Now I want to say if these are my two variables which I am changing, how much will be the income? So now this is the intersection point of row and column. I say is equals to and put income over here like this. Fine. Now this is my table that will be make. Now I need to tell Excel in what if analysis which is my row parameters and which is my column parameters. So I say what if analysis, I go into data table. Now in row input cell, I say I am changing the price. Fine. And in column input cell, I will say I am changing the cost. I say okay. And now when I say okay, here comes my results. So when there is a cost of 5.9 and price is 14, 39,193 will be less. 5.9 and 14. Let's do it. I'll say 14 and I do 5.9. Here comes the same answer. So this is how data table works. Hope you are able to understand all the three. What if scenario manager, then we did goal seek, and then we talked about data tables. Both are easy. What I want is that make sure you do it with your hands. That is more important thing. So make sure to download this template file from where? From website bi-analytics.org. Join that club if you have not joined it out. And when you are signed up, log in and join the club, you will be able to download. Many people say I'm not able to download because you are not signing up. Signing up and joining the club is the mandatory requirement. When you do it, you will be able to download that file. Okay. So let's. So this was data tables. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comments and let us know are you enjoying this or not. And please subscribe to the channel if you are new to it. Remember the website bi-analytics.org. Make sure you ask your questions in the forum and share your learnings in the comment. It is important. Your feedback inspires me to make another video. Fine. Thank you very much.